Hello guys, welcome to Thermomix Adventures. Lisa here. We're continuing on our quick dinners series this month, okay? If you haven't gone and downloaded your A4 page yet of quick dinners, go over to Thermomix Adventures, go to the blog and download it. So follow that QR code over there. Now tonight we're having tacos and we're feeding quite a crowd. There's extras here. So I'm going to show you, actually I'm also going to tell you, because I've done some of it already, how you can beef this up. Now it does use high heat. I will give you the instructions if you've got a TM31 or a TM5. It will turn out a little different, but that's okay. So first things first, it would normally grate your cheese down. If I go start cooking, you can see it's grating cheese. Insert the measuring cup. I actually used my cutter and I actually grated the entire block of my cheese the other week, so I just froze it in glad bags so that it's ready for when I need it. But you can still grate it the old school way. Clean and dry mixing bowl. Garlic clove. So the first step is 2 cloves of garlic in, and then it's going to blitz them down. 3 seconds, speed 7. Now I've done this already. Over here in the Thermo server, I actually have 750 grams already cooked down, okay? I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. It says to then leave, do not scrape down the sides. It asks you to add 200 grams of brown onions. That's about 1.5 decent sized brown onions, but it does say wedges, okay? Please note that. You don't want to just chuck it in halves. It won't saute off well enough to make a really nice chop. Now, something I really love about high heat cooking on our TM sticks is when you cook the onion down first and then you chop it. So this would high heat with some oil, 20 grams of oil. You've used a splash guard. I'll show you that in a minute. But then if we go to next, it cooks for 4 minutes. That's just onion and garlic on our high heat. That's that little sizzle symbol. And then it does a chop, a 4-second speed 5 chop, okay? I love this chop. Those of you who've been experienced Thermomix owners for a long time, you would know that if you chop a raw onion, you tend to end up with nearly a mush. When you chop a cooked onion, you actually end up with like barbecue onion. Look at this, I'm gonna fish around in here, I'm gonna try and show you some. Yes, there's mince in it, so please forgive me for the mince that's in there, but can you see how there's chunks? They're caramelized, they're translucent, but guess what? They're like I've diced them with a knife. How cool is that? So I really like that, okay? I like the fact that it leaves you with texture. Then it asks you to add 250 grams of beef mince. Now this is actually where I'm going to pick up in a moment. I'm just gonna skip through that and oil. And then it asks you to put your splash guard on, and then you would cook that off for 5 minutes, transfer aside, and now this is where I'm gonna kick off. So I've already done that first step and I actually did it 3 times. So each time it asks for 250 grams and 20 grams of oil, just like I'm about to show you right now. And I'm about to do my last bit because I had 1 kilo worth of mince, okay? So that's why in this case today, I'm going to only show you part of it because you don't need to see me do this 4 times over. So do say hi if you're watching on today. What's for dinner at your place if you've got a plan? Do say hi. I'd love to hear from you guys and know that you are enjoying these videos. So this goes in, all right? And now you can see it's a little heavier. It's not that big of a deal. With these high heat, they want to be heavier, but they don't want to be lighter. And they also don't want to be too much heavier, otherwise you don't get a nice caramelization cook-off. You might have noticed, I forgot to make mention, that the bowl was slightly dark already in there. It already had some of the meat juice stuck to it. Don't worry about it, okay? Perfectly normal with high heat cooking. So don't worry about that. So I do have a little bit more than I'd like in there, but I'm not gonna split it into another batch. I'm just gonna use it as it is. Some oil, okay? 20 grams of oil going in. It is required, okay? Don't try and skip your oil. Because this is what's going to stop it from sticking to the bottom, okay? Now, admittedly, most meats will stick to some extent because there's no real predictability about fat contents, water contents, that sort of stuff. So you will find it sticks, but citric acid will get it off. So 1 tablespoon of citric acid, 250 mils of water, which is only about that much, and use your kettle feature, or if you're a TM5 or 31 owner, use Vorwerk. Okay, it'll take about 2 to 3 minutes on a TM6, on the others about 5 minutes to get up, boil off, and then use a spatula to just wipe it around. The water's super hot, don't put your fingers in there, but use your spatula and it'll just lift the burn off, okay? Perfectly fine. So, next, on with the lid. Now it's asking for my splash guard. This stops the splatter coming out. You might have noticed with my meat as well, I've clumped it around the blades. That's intentional. If you put it in one big clump, it's not going to cook nicely. It's not going to make contact with the bottom of the bowl. Now it's got 5 minutes, maximum temperature, spin the dial, and this is using high heat. Now if you have a TM31 or a TM5, you are going to use Vorwerk. You're going to put it on for 5 minutes, Vorwerk, reverse, slow stir. The slowest one you've got, the little wooden spoon. Now you'll notice on the 6, it's just stopped. And I don't think you can probably hear that, but it's sizzling like you'd expect on a fry pan. That is really the difference with the TM6. It stops stationary and fries. Then what will happen in a moment is it will relodge the food. It'll kind of jiggle and wiggle and stop and be stationary again. So this really is one of my favorite things because it means I can put my chicken strips in and actually saute them off like this. I can use beef strips. I can use, like we are, mince tonight. You can do vegetables. I love nothing more than capsicum and broccoli and cauliflower, snow peas cooked off in there in the bottom with just some oil and garlic. Just beautiful, okay? And by the way, the other thing you can do here is you can also use it to even change it up. So say I wanted to hide into this some stir-fry veggies, I could push the back arrow, put 250 grams of stir-fry, like veggies, they wouldn't be stir-fried yet, they'd be fresh veggies, and then 20 grams of oil. Here's my high heat function, put it on, and off it goes. So it really is quite versatile as to what you can do. What you cannot do with high heat is use it as a function itself. It's not in our mode screen with our fermenting and our sous videing and stuff. So you can't step aside and use it on its own, mainly because I think people would potentially damage their Thermomix incidentally doing so. So you do need to use a recipe, and at least these recipes make sure we're meeting the weight requirement so that you don't burn your bowl, at 160 degrees and do big damage to your bowl. And the thing is, with the burns you get following guided cooking, they all come off, okay? It comes off beautifully and easily. Hello, ladies on today. Lovely to have you on today. Thanks for saying hi all the way from the snowy Netherlands. Can you see I'm in a singlet today, sweating away at 32 degrees, and I don't know what the humidity is, but it's really sticky and hot. So we have polar opposite weathers going on there, Suzanne. All right, 2 minutes to go. I'm just waiting for this, and then we're going to finish it. So to finish it off, we need some tomato paste, some water. It's going to ask, I think, for the meat to go back in. So this meat, the first step had the onion and the garlic in it that it cooked off. Then it had 250 grams of mince put on top of that. And then it went from there to actually having just mince after that. Mince and oil, mince and oil, mince and oil, okay? So that was our process after that. And I've just added it to a thermo server. These keep things hot or cold for a couple of hours. So I can put the lid on, I can go to the gym, come back, and we can serve it up. And it's little taco cups with, diced up tomato, diced up lettuce, cheese on top, sour cream if you like, however you'd like to finish them. So we've had nearly done. We've only got 2 minutes remaining, and I can't wait to show you how to finish this. I am actually not putting the seasoning on, okay? So just a little side note. We have a varying amount of people that like seasoning or don't like seasoning in our house. So we will leave it out, and that means people can sprinkle it on their own taco, depending on how much spice they like or don't like. So there's a little tip. If in your family you have some who cannot tolerate and won't enjoy seasoning at all, just don't add it and let people sprinkle it over at the end at serving time. Okay, the little way of getting around it. So now guys, just a little reminder, please remember to be sharing these videos with your friends and family who have a Thermomix so that they can be getting the most out of their Thermomix, and making sure they're finding new recipes and finding quick recipes for when life gets super busy. If you've not checked out the blog, go over there because there's a whole lot of tips around organization. Obviously the quick recipes for the month, which you can download the entirety in one go if you're logged into your app. So if you go to Cookie Do app, it's okay, your app on your phone, you then go to the blog, you click the button, it'll add the entire, and I think I called it Lisa's Speedy Dinners, to your Cookie Do. All right, now if you don't have Cookie Do, there's a 30-day free trial. Just email, password, sign up, check it out, okay? It is a world of recipes at your fingertips to plan, to shop with, to make your life so much easier. And no, I don't get paid to tell you that, okay? It is all done by the Germans, and consultants actually don't get any commission from your subscriptions to that. That is purely something for you and the manufacturers, which is cool. So here we go, 7 seconds to go. I'm going to show you what this looks like. We're going to finish this recipe off, and thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon and seeing this process through. All right, be careful with steam. It's hot, so always open away from you, okay? I know I'm operating behind, so it looks a little weird, but that's okay. Have a look, it's done. How cool is that? Okay, go next. Always though, add the meat back in. Before I add the meat back in, always scrape the bottom, because what you'll find, see there's meat stuck to the bottom? That's tasty. We don't want that to go to waste. So you give it, I don't know if you guys can see it there, but I can see it. I want that in my food. I don't want it stuck. Okay, so I've given it that a stir, that'll come in. Now we're gonna add our reserved beef back in. So this is a full kilo, probably a little over, because I think my little bags are about 600 grams each, and I divide them in 2. So I think we'll find it's a little more. And now we're gonna go next, 500 grams of tomato paste. So I'm gonna put 100 grams in because I'm doubling this quantity. Hopefully I've got enough in my tomato paste jar. If you didn't have tomato paste, you could certainly use just diced tomatoes. That would work well too. Probably wouldn't get quite a depth of flavour. You'd probably, now that I've said that, you'd probably be better off cooking the tin of tomatoes down and make tomato paste before you start. Okay, 100 grams of that. 70 grams of water, so we're putting in 140, we're doubling it. And then it would ask for the seasoning. Whoops, a little bit heavy. Oh no, a little light, it's fine. There's your taco seasoning. It's asking for 20 to 30 grams of taco seasoning. By the way, you can make that yourself. There's a recipe there for you on Cookie Doo. Now ask for your simmering basket on top, which I'll grab in a second. It's got a 3-minute cook, reverse, 100 degrees. There it is. And in a moment it's done. Now, just something to be mindful of. It may not spread all the way through in the 3 minutes because I've got a double batch. I may need to add half of the original time on. So the rule of thumb is with a double batch, you're gonna add half extra. So 3 minutes plus half extra, that's 1.5, so 4.5 minutes in total. Being that this is more of a stir through, I'm not too worried, but it's worth noting that you might need to at times. So then when I go next, it tells you literally to serve up and you're good to go. How cool is that? I'll be putting it back in here, lid on, and leaving it till I get home from the gym ready to serve up. But otherwise guys, thanks for joining me today. Please do interact with this, like, subscribe, share, that sort of stuff so that Facebook knows you love it. And if you're on YouTube, of course, hit the subscribe button as well, because that's where all the replays come up to. Please reach out if I can help you with anything regarding your Thermomix. I love to hear from you. I love to hear what you're making, what your challenges are, and if there's anything I can do to support you. If you are in Australia and you're looking to get a TM6 on the bench, I would be honoured to help you do so. So please don't ever be a stranger. And as you share your love of your Thermomix, if you've got one, with your friends and family, please make sure they know that when it's their time to buy a Thermomix, they buy direct through a consultant, okay? I'd love to help them. If they're in Australia, we can sell Australia-wide. But going through a consultant is super important to support our consultants on the ground. But otherwise, guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying the quick dinner series, and I can't wait to see you for some more cooking in the next couple of days. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.